How's everybody doing today?
Great.
I need more energy. How's everybody doing today? Good, good. At AWS IoT, we usually start our customer presentation by asking ourselves and our customers this simple question. That is, if you knew the state of everything and you could reason on top of that data, what problems would you solve? The key thing to notice here is knowing the state of everything in your company and operations and to be able to reason on top of that data. It's our mission at AWS IoT to help our customers accomplish just that. Hello, everybody. My name is Praveen Rao. I lead Industrial IoT and Analytics. Welcome to our presentation today. And I'm also joined by two of our esteemed guests, Rohit Talwar from Penske and Rajesh Devnani from Hitachi. So we're going to go through an introduction when they come for presentation, but we have certainly some very exciting stories. So it is with this mindset of really co-innovating with our customers and really, helping them solve their operational problems that we have been able to win the trust of all these major customers that you can see. And we also have a very rich set of partners who kind of help us deliver on those things. You would hear from one of such partners, Hitachi, on how we are kind of collaborating to help our customers to win many of the IoT workloads. And you'll also hear more stories about Penske on how they were able to benefit from AWS IoT services and solutions that we have. So when we say optimize industrial operations, what we really mean by that is basically customer comes to us because they want to lower their operational cost and increase their revenue and also improve their sustainability. In other words, what we're really trying to help our customers is to make their products faster, cheaper, and better, right? So we see three broad areas where customers come to us for help with innovating and lowering the cost. One is in the factory. According to the latest study from McKinsey, manufacturing in general produces about 1,800 petabytes of data, which is twice more than the next nearest industry. And the 90% of the data is locked in the on-prem. So if you want to save cost in your operation, what's the first thing you need to do? Move the data to the cloud, right? Because you don't have to maintain all the infrastructure and all. Another thing is liberate that data and democratize the data so that different constituents can get meaningful insights to help them with their decisions in the operations, whether it is understanding the machine availability, OEE, quality, uptime, and many other things, right? Because you want insights to be able to make better decisions in your operations. And then moving on, other major area we see is in the products they make. So there is more than 13 billion connected products that are already there and equipments. So more and more equipments and products are getting instrumented. So that means products are getting smarter, they're getting more connected. And also other thing that we are seeing from a trend perspective is customers who come to us also want to understand how their customers are using the product. That means they want to get real insights on how their products are used, so that way they can take those insights and then take it back into their product design. That's the third area. So make those products more customer-friendly, more manufacturing-friendly, designed for manufacturing, and then also make them more efficient, so which in turn feeds into the factory. As you can see, the products are becoming more manufacturable and definitely more efficient, more sustainable. So as you can see, there is a flywheel effect. So this keeps going, and then this is kind of how you can continue to optimize and then extract more value from your industrial data. So moving on, so where do we see customers see challenges and also opportunities for improvement, right? So first and foremost thing where we see is lack of visibility into operations. What it means, really, like we started, lack of visibility means not understanding the state of things within their company, right? So it leads to a lot of reactionary measures in their operations and a lot of manual work, a lot of redundancies. So that's something that, certainly an area to come in and then improve, right? The second area where we would see is unplanned breakdowns. If you talk to almost all the CFOs in a company, so their biggest thing that keeps them awake in the night is they go through the budgeting cycle, they budget, and then suddenly something happens. Now they got to go find funds to address that problem. Not only that, and also impact it would have on the revenue. So that's kind of where, so they need to have a more proactive approach, more approach in which they understand not only the state, but also reason on top of it, so that move from unplanned to more planned maintenance and pay-as-you-go model, so that way they don't run into disruptions, not only in operation, but also in the finances as well. So third area is simply the waste that happens. It could be waste because of the scrap products that they make or the products that accumulate additional operations once they are deemed scrap. Right? Or it could even be the recalls that they have to go through and the associated brand images, impact that would have. And the fourth area where we see a lot of industrial challenges is the energy efficiency, especially in certain geos like EMEA, where you have geopolitical issues with the Ukraine war, and certainly manufacturers are struggling to keep up with the energy cost and continue to run their operations. So they're looking for ways to how can I do more with less or more with the same in terms of the energy? So given all these challenges and opportunities, where do you get started, right, in terms of optimization? I think the first and foremost where we recommend is getting a good handle on your industrial data. What you're seeing here is a classical pyramid or ISA 95 or Purdue model, however the way you want to call it, where organizationally data is organized in stacks. And they are measured in 0 to 4 levels. And also it's categorized into OT data and IT data. This is great, when it started with Industry 4.0. But the problem with that is average age of the industrial machinery is about 25 years, and there is 300 plus protocols. They don't always talk to each other, and all these layers are in their own silos, so there is not much connectivity or the data exchange happens among the layers. So that leads to a lot of inefficiencies, and even the innovation that happens in silo. So what we are seeing with the ubiquity of cloud, so that barrier is breaking, right? Over the last couple of years, OT and ITs are coming together, so the data is not stuck in one spot like it used to, and there is also newer protocols like OPC-UA that is becoming more popular, where you can translate from one to another. So there is flexibility that is creating more efficiency that would otherwise happen in a silo, right? As we go into the future, what we see is, again, with the cloud presence and the ability to move data from not just from edge to cloud, but also cloud to edge, we expect that barrier to be completely gone. And so there won't be much difference in the way things operate between the cloud and the edge. So some of the newer things like AI/ML and even digital twin, so you should be able to operate more at the edge and make decisions at the edge, even when there is no internet connectivity, as though you do it on the cloud. So this is something that we are super excited about. So this trend is going to continue to evolve, and it's going to unlock a whole bunch of efficiency like it has never been seen before. From the use case perspective and the outcomes, there are 5 areas where our customers are maximizing the benefits of IoT and AI/ML and cloud. So the first area is unlocking the higher operational efficiencies. What we mean by that is essentially getting to know not only the state and also the reason. So that means remote health monitoring, like your OEE dashboards. Those are all major outcomes that we are seeing. In addition to that, if you remember, I talked about like 90% of the data being on-prem. So this is a great area for people to move that data into the cloud, and then not only get insights at a factory, but also across the factories, right? So that's kind of where we almost call this historian and historian plus. So there are many things that you can do once you have the data in the cloud and contextualize it with other forms of data, MES, your CMMI, your metrology data. So it opens up a whole Pandora of box to uncover efficiencies like it has never been before. And then we talked about the downtime. So this is kind of where having a good handle on the conditions of the assets, and then going through the journey of like getting descriptive, predictive, and then prescriptive insights on what's the optimal level to operate your factories and machines and the other equipment. So that's one area we're saying. And also with the advent of digital twin, more and more operational twins are being produced, so that way you can remotely understand exactly where the problem is and also what you can do about them, right? So quality is another area where we are seeing customers are deriving a lot of benefits, especially with the advent of computer vision and when IoT meets AI scenarios. So there is a lot of things that we could do that could never been done before in terms of identifying the anomalies, clustering good versus bad, and really understanding why things work one way and why it doesn't, and comparing across different machines, factories, and enterprises, right, to reduce all the scrap and other unwanted cost. Fourth area is around the energy usage, sustainability, getting a good handle on the energy, and then metering it, and then getting really efficient, in all forms of operation, your equipment, in your buildings, everywhere, right, wherever you are using the energy. So that's a key area, so where we are seeing, and also an impact of environmental factors on your energy usage. That's another critical area where we can input weather reports into your AI/ML models and unlock more benefits. Last area, manufacturing and supply chain are like born twins. One cannot exist without the other. Any disruption that happens in the supply chain invariably affects the manufacturing. So this is kind of where we are seeing a lot of our customers adopt track and trace solutions, control towers. We announced a solution service yesterday, AWS supply chain. So that's kind of where our focus is, and our customers are benefiting from some of our services. Now, just to kind of give you a preview on what are some of the IoT and AI/ML services that we have that helps you with delivering all these outcomes. So we classify our IoT services into three broad areas. One is what you can do at the device level. What is a cloud company doing at the device levels, you might ask, right? But if you think about it, getting a good handle on the device helps you understand the state of the device and also helps you connect that device to the cloud in a most efficient way and ensure that it is secure and safe at the device level, right? And the second thing is around the connectivity and control. This matters because this is kind of where we can help our customer orchestrate a wide variety and wide number of devices and also onboard them at scale. At scale is a key word here, right? Because that's kind of where you get the benefit of ensuring that you keep an enterprise up and running in a most efficient way. Third area is around the analytics and streaming services. This is where you take the data and you reason on top of that data and get insights to help with all your operational decision support and also to orchestrate and automate where you can. So what we are also seeing is these three are not layered. As you can see, I didn't put them on top of a pyramid or as a cake form. I put them in a circle here. So the reason being one feeds off the other. So as you start leveraging, this is a scenario where a whole is larger than the sum of parts. So the benefit you get is far exceeds using them individually. That's why we call this a virtuous cycle. So it's a self-fulfilling cycle where more you use it, more benefits you would get. Just to quickly to double click on these things, we have basically these are the services that you see. We have 4 services in the device software areas that helps you connect and secure your devices and endpoints. We have Greengrass that can bring in some of the cloud capabilities to the edge if you have stronger computers at computation at the edge like PLCs. And then on the connectivity and control services, we have 5 services. IoT Core is by far our most popular service. We have, last I checked, was 1.6 billion endpoint, and we get about 2.25 connections per minute coming into us. So this is huge, and this can clearly shown and proven in the industry for several years now that it can scale and handle at the capacity that is requested by our customers. And then we also have FleetWise to help with managing large number of fleets, particularly automotive, and the RoboRunner in terms of orchestrating robots in a distribution center or manufacturing or any other place that you want to kind of orchestrate your robots. Right? Moving on to analytics and streaming services. So this is kind of where we have 5 services, IoT events. You can customize, you can write rules, and make actions on certain events, whatever events happens that you gather from your sensors or IoT devices. Right? And then we have SiteWise, which is an industrial-grade software service that is built to collect, connect, contextualize data. You can build asset hierarchies, and you can also store time series data and make decisions on the remote health of your equipment. And you can also build other dashboards to get additional insights into your operations. TwinMaker is one of our newest service that essentially helps you build operational digital twin. We also have partners such as Matterport who can give you a 3D visualization of your operations, and you can deliver some very interesting use cases and outcomes by leveraging digital twin. And we also, to complement IoT and AI/ML go hand in hand. Almost the one doesn't exist without the other. We also have, I'm going to touch on 4 services here. One is Lookout for Vision. So there is certainly demos in the industrial tent. You guys can go check it out, where you can train AI/ML models to look for certain anomalies, either in your parts or in your operations. You can train them to essentially give you early warnings, whether it's a quality or any defect. You can automate them as well, right? That's another thing that you would notice. We also have Lookout for Equipment, which can help you with condition-based monitoring, look for root causes of the disruptions in your operation. And we also have Monitron. Monitron is very easy to use. You can even buy it from Amazon.com. It comes with both sensor and the insights, the dashboard that you can, and also a gateway. It can detect your vibrations, your temperature, and then even if you don't have a PLC, you can literally stick it on any rotating equipment and get insights on the inner workings or the health of that equipment. Certainly, you can use it in a wide variety of use cases. And lastly, we also have AWS Panorama, which is basically a computer vision based. It can turn any cameras into more of an intelligent camera. And you can use this in a wide variety of uses, whether it's in a security, safety, worker safety situation, or essentially, as you're seeing in the thing, managing the fleet of trucks. So there is a wide variety of use cases wherever you want to turn your cameras into more intelligent cameras and make decisions based on that. And then I won't drain you into the details here. I showed you the list of customers. Here is all the things that we hear back from our customers on how they are benefiting from our solutions and our partner solutions as well, right? Many of these services gets embedded into our partners and then essentially make them even better. As you can see, there is a wide variety of benefits in wide number of use cases. So certainly, we have wide variety of partners who have taken these things and then delivered value at even higher. In fact, we have one here, Hitachi Vantara, who have already taken their existing industry-ready solution, which has been in existence for very many years, and embedded our services and made them even better. So with that, I would invite Rajesh Devnani from Hitachi to come in and tell us a story about what they are doing with our services and how they are benefiting.
Thanks a lot, Praveen. Thank you so much. Hi, good afternoon all. This is Rajesh Devnani from Hitachi Vantara. And Hitachi Vantara is the global solutions, services, and digital infrastructure arm of the Hitachi Group from a global standpoint. So Praveen, the last slide Praveen presented made me recall and remember a blog post I wrote about 5 years back, which was called putting the IoT cart before the horse. Things have moved on from there. I think it used to be all about technology at that and all the bells and whistles of IoT. The focus is really pivoted towards the business benefits and the value of that. And that's a sea change from what we saw before. So look at it past now in the current context, 5 years, a lot of churn has happened. A lot of IoT platforms came and went. And only the ones that are focused on the real business value have stood the test of time, really, effectively. And AWS is obviously clearly leading the charge on that. What I'll cover in the next couple of minutes is I'm going to give you a brief walkthrough in terms of Hitachi's credentials and vision strategy in the IoT space and how we are aligning with AWS, who's again the market leader in this space. But we are saving the best for the last, so we'll have Rohit come in after me and talk about how we are really realizing that in a customer context and working in a collaborative journey with them to make it all happen. So just to get started, a bit of a brief on Hitachi. I'm not sure how many of you know about Hitachi, but we started life about 112 years back in a small workshop in the prefecture of Hitachi, and that's where the name comes from, basically. And from those humble beginnings, we have really come a long way. So it's about $85 billion in terms of size now. But what has really stood constant over all these years is the spirit of innovation that pervaded us right from the start. And it was all about creating a positive societal impact. So that's really stood the test of time as we have grown in Hitachi. Hitachi has grown to become an industrial giant, so we do have real credentials in the industrial IoT space. We operate about 200 manufacturing plants globally across the board. We do work on all the critical infrastructure sectors, and we do provide very complex, high-value assets. Not only do we design them, build them, manage them, monitor them. So IoT has been kind of in our roots. The whole industrial thing has been in our roots, essentially. And we also have a digital practice which has been in existence for about the past 60 years, the IT side of things. So what really accords us is gives us a very unique position in terms of understanding both sides of the world and bringing them together. So it used to be like IT is IT and OT is OT, and never the twain shall meet. Hitachi as an organization brings that capability in terms of merging both these capabilities and competencies together and offering the best out of that. Now, we do have a very intense focus on R&D, and one of the key streams for us in the R&D space has been around industrial AI. And that's very pertinent to the topic that we have today on hand. And it's about really how do you apply industrial AI at scale in terms of delivering transformative goals for our customers and helping them really derive the true value from IoT, whether it be in terms of the cost optimization or in terms of their revenue augmentation or even in getting into new business models entirely altogether. So Hitachi, we started our own foray into what came to be known as IoT a couple of years back. And out of that, we conceptualized and brought to life this concept called Lumada. And Lumada essentially stands for, it's an acronym which stands for Illuminate Data, which is essentially shining a spotlight on data and producing rich insights out of that data. So that came into existence as a basic core platform for IoT from Hitachi. But essentially, it's a compendium of solutions, services, products all bundled together. So it's an overarching framework of sorts that we have to the marketplace. And it does have components like data operations and data governance, data management, cataloging. There's a bunch of things in there. But what essentially differentiates Lumada in the current context is all the industrial IoT solution cores that we have really built on top of that. And when Praveen alluded to that, that's all what we are now kind of re-platforming, putting on the AWS stack, and bringing together the power of Hitachi's industrial expertise and know-how and knowledge, along with the cloud platform capabilities of AWS to bring to our customers that innovation, essentially. So industry clouds is the next step, really, in that evolution as we move forward, and they are going to be defining what's the future journey of the cloud platforms. So till date, the cloud platforms have been largely horizontal and agnostic of the industry verticals, but there's an accentuated need for these cloud platforms to really start offering industry vertical specific functionality. And that's where people like us play in, that's where Hitachi really plays into the game. So we do bring a lot of rich competencies across multiple verticals, be it energy, be it mobility, be it the core manufacturing sector itself. And we have 200 plus use cases or solution cores that we have developed to address very specific needs across a range of functionalities like production, maintenance, quality, safety. So there's a whole plethora of use cases that we have in place. And that's the journey we are embarking on with AWS to move that together in that direction. So logical segue from there, AWS and Hitachi have been partners for long. It's a very strategic partnership that we have in place with AWS. It's a very multifaceted partnership. We are on to about 14 competencies. We have 300 plus certifications. We have 50 plus clients that we jointly engage with together on. I think the core of it is really around the whole industrial space, because that's of very key importance both to AWS and us in terms of creating the right business impact for our customers. So we are on this journey together. Like Praveen said, I'll talk about one of the solutions that gone onto the marketplace very recently. But even before that, we are sort of re-platforming a few of our very key strategic core components. So there's the asset performance management product that we have in our fold. That's being re-platformed entirely in AWS to take use of the core cloud-native capabilities that exist and ensure that the whole solution becomes a lot repeatable and scalable. And we can offer those to customers at a very logical price point as well. So this is one of the solutions. This is essentially our manufacturing insight solution, which is deployed on the AWS platform and is also available on the AWS marketplace. And this is really addressing the core needs of the whole manufacturing segment at large. It covers the entire gamut of use cases, right from basic descriptive analytics around the 4M all the way up to the predictive prescriptive analytics and the complete manufacturing lifecycle optimization value chain. And it does also offer a rich set of metrics out of the box. So Praveen spoke about OE as an example. We do OE. We also do things like on-time in full, defect rates, first pass yields, the health and safety indicators. There's a whole bunch of things that we cover in the gamut of that, even production scheduling optimization. So it's a complete end-to-end platform which addresses the need of core manufacturing and industrial companies and provides those capabilities out of the box. And this platform has been completely done natively on AWS now. So we are leveraging all the underlying components of AWS in this product. And this is sort of a reference architecture or a blueprint that we have created so that we can achieve a lot of repeatability and scalability in the entire process of doing this with customers. So before I wrap up and pass it to Praveen to invite Rohit upstage, I'd like to take a minute to talk about our collaboration with Penske. So Penske and Hitachi have been very close strategic partners for the past 5+ years. We kind of conceptualized and began this journey together, embarked on it with the clear intent of identifying real business value use cases that can be impacted by leverage of IoT and artificial intelligence and machine learning. And out of that bone was a particular use case because Penske operates very large fleets, hundreds of thousands of fleets. So maintenance is really a very big cost factor for Penske, and this is what we set out to address. Rohit is going to talk more about it, but it's been a very enriching journey for us over the past couple of years. It's not been easy by any means. It has been a journey, that's why I said, and there's no magic wand per se that you bring technology and things happen. It's been arduous, it's been long, but it's been very rewarding and enriching as well as we've gone along there. So with that, I'll call upon Praveen back to invite Rohit upstage. Thank you.
I'm super excited to invite Rohit and talk about what he has been able to do by leveraging some of our services and our partner. As you know, computer vision and predictive maintenance, people have been talking about it for the last 10 years, right? But what they have done is truly remarkable, and the complexity that they had to deal with and to deliver at the scale that they have done is something, I'm super excited that we're so fortunate to have Rohit here to share the story. Over to you, Rohit.
All right. Thank you, Praveen, for the introduction. And Rajesh, thank you for that comment about best for the last. That does not put any pressure on me, obviously, right? So show of hands, how many of you know about Penske? Wow, more than I expected. How many of you know what we do? Okay, great. That's great. So let me introduce Penske Transportation Solutions to you, right? So that I represent Penske Transportation Solutions. We are part of the bigger Penske Corp, which is a $37 billion organization. Now, most of you may know about Penske because of race cars, because of IndyCar. But we are part of Penske Transportation, which is, again, is a privately held organization, part of Penske Corporations. We were founded in 1969. So right before COVID in 2019, we celebrated 50 years of being in business. 3,000 locations globally. Majority of these locations are in North America. And we have about 40,000 associates. This is, again, Penske Transportation only. What we do full service leasing, we do truck rental, we do contract maintenance and logistics. So let's talk about that a little bit, right? So how many of you have seen a yellow Penske truck? Okay, so that's our rental fleet. So folks like you and me who want to move, right, we would rent a Penske consumer truck, which are those yellow trucks. We also, a lot of organizations, large organizations, UPS, FedEx, Walmart, during the busy season, which we are in right now, where a lot of packages have to move because we all order on the internet. So we do commercial rental as well. So those companies actually rent trucks from us. So that's a B2B model to deliver those goods. So again, in our rental product line, we do both B2B and we do B2C. In our full service leasing, which is a whole different model, and it is our bread and butter, what we do is lease trucks to our customers. Again, an example of this could be where Walmart, Lowe's, Costco, some of these large organizations, their core business is not transportation, right? Their core business is retail. They want someone else to focus on transportation because that business is becoming very, very complicated. So they come to us, we work with them, we spec the entire unit. And the speccing is based on a number of factors. It could be the type of payload that they want to run, where they want to run, how many miles they want to run, and then we consult to them what type of tractor, truck they should buy, and then we buy it for them, right? So we buy it, we place the order with the OEMs, and then we do full service leasing, as it's called, which means that we lease it to them, but we take care of everything. We take care of licensing, we take care of titling, we take care of taxation. If you know anything about trucking, taxation goes down to the county level, right? It's very, very complicated, but we take care of all of that. And we take care of maintenance services. Maintenance is, again, very complicated business. I'll talk about that. But we take care of all of that. So the only thing that the customer that leases from us has to do is put a driver in there and fuel the truck. That's all they have to do. We take care of everything else. That's a large area for business, and we are leaders in this space. And then, of course, logistics. So, most of us are used to drinking Starbucks in the morning. Some of us in the Northeast also go to Wawa. So the supply chain of all that, most of that is managed by Penske Logistics, which is our logistics organization. And then we maintain and manage over 400,000 trucks, tractors, and trailers. So here's an assignment for you, right? The next time you're on the road, count the number of Penske trucks, yellow trucks that you see, and trust me, you'll start seeing a lot more now that I've mentioned it, right? Now, the only way you would know that it's a lease truck, I talked about the rental truck, easy to spot. Lease truck is if you look on the driver's side, there will be a small decal which says Penske, right? So you get extra credit if you're able to see a Penske lease truck. This was a game we used to play with our younger kids. A much better game than Are We There Yet type of a game, right? So if you have younger kids, this is a good game to play. So like I mentioned, we are leaders in truck maintenance, truck leasing, and this is our maintenance vision, and it's pretty simple, right? It is to increase the customer uptime and to reduce the operating costs. Some of the large organizations that I mentioned, they have their own SLAs with their customers, and they rely on us to make sure that that truck keeps on running. So the increasing customer uptime and reducing operating costs are not mutually exclusive. Think about it, right? So if a truck breaks down, the driver is stranded on the side of the road, right? We still have to figure out how to get that truck and that customer up and running. So we have to either give them a substitute unit or we have to send someone to make sure that the truck is repaired. Either case, it's a higher operating cost for us. And like I mentioned, as part of our full service lease, we do all the maintenance. So any higher cost hits our bottom line. So we have to make sure that the customer is up and running and our operating cost is low. Now, there is a challenge to this vision, and I would say it's a challenge to the entire transportation industry. Actually, there are two challenges. One is unavailability of skilled labor, in this case technicians, right? And then two are drivers. These are the two biggest challenges that our industry faces today. And then also what happens is a lot of folks don't go to school to be mechanics. We are seeing that that educational side is not being entertained a whole lot by the newer generation. So that's again a problem. The modern trucks are becoming very, very complicated. Think about modern trucks as data center on the road. It's truly a data center which runs on wheels down the road. It's becoming very complicated. It takes a very long time to diagnose a problem, and repairing a problem is a specialized skill, which is not readily available. So what I'm going to talk today is two use cases where we leverage technology, and these are in production, where we leverage technology, AI, ML, IoT, to help further our vision, our maintenance vision, and to kind of alleviate a bit this challenge around finding skill set technicians. So in 2017, 2018, we partnered with Hitachi, and Rajesh mentioned that, to kind of talk about this first use case, which is around reducing the diagnostic time and also reducing the repair time and repeat repairs. And I'll talk about repeat repairs, right? So, and this happened to me personally, and I don't know if it has happened to you, but so my car had a check engine light, and I called the dealership, and so first of all, I get an appointment 2 weeks after I call. So I take the car there, they keep the car in there for 2 days, and then after that, they give me a call and they say, your car's good, take my car out, bring it back in 3 days again because the check engine light was on. So what the technician did in this case, he or she was not able to figure out the problem, so they just did what they needed to do to flip the switch for the check engine light. So that's a repeat repair because I'm coming back, right, to the dealership to solve that problem because my problem is not solved. So our goal, so think about this in the context of trucks, right? So if a truck is broken down and the technician only fixes the symptom but not the actual problem, that truck is going to come back. That's more downtime for the customer. That's higher operating costs for us, which goes completely against our vision. So our goal with this use case was to reduce the diagnostic and repair time and also to reduce repeat repair. So the solution that we built, and we call it guided repair, is an AI solution. It's an AI ML solution, which guides the technician through the repair. And I'll double click on this in a bit. But it guides the technician through the repair, and it kind of tells the technician, hey, here's what you need to do to solve this. The outcome, we were able to reduce the average repair time by 15 minutes per truck. Think about 400,000 trucks that we manage and maintain, extrapolate this to that. Imagine the scale, right? Imagine the amount of capacity we've been able to create within our shops because of this technology that we deployed. And again, like Rajesh said, it was not easy. Not an easy problem to solve. The other problem that we have to deal with is change management because now you're telling the technicians that, hey, listen to the technology, right? Do what the technology tells you to do. So that's a change management problem. So the whole cycle was not easy, but trust me, very rewarding. So let's double click on on this a little bit. So a Penske truck pulls into one of our locations, and the technician checks in the truck so the truck pulls in for a repair. The technician checks in the truck using our maintenance applications and systems. And as soon as the truck is checked in, we do know the repair history, the diagnostic history, the fault code history. We know what type of vehicle it is, the make, model, year. And we also know what fault code the customer complaint is because that's what kind of started the repair. So what we do is with all that information, we transfer the fault code and the complaint through API calls to this guided repair model, the AI ML model. And the AI ML model is already trained with 20 years of maintenance data. We have a lot of data, And this model, right, when we built it, was trained for 20 years of maintenance data. It has identified all the patterns, and it constantly learns, right? So as newer models come in, as new data comes in, it constantly learns. The guided repair model then outputs a prescription. So both Praveen and Rajesh talked about prescriptive, right? So this is a prescription, it's like a doctor. It's giving out a prescription, and the prescription includes what the technician needs to do and the probability of success. So it actually includes that, okay? Now, the technician can take two routes. One is they can go with the prescription, or they can still continue with what they think is the right repair. In both those cases, we capture, right, what the technician is doing. And here's why we do that. So because if they take the prescription out of the model and do exactly what the model says, but the truck comes back for a repeat repair in X number of days, we want to know that, right? Because then we need to adjust the model because the model is not putting the right prescription out. The second scenario could be that the technician completely ignores the prescription and does what they think is the right thing to do, and the truck still comes back for repeat repair. In both of those cases, we want to know what action did the technician take. So we run a lot of analytics in the background to figure all that out, to do training for our technicians, and also training for the model. So it's a whole feedback loop that we have with this use case. This did go into production, by the way, in 2019. And trust me, 2020 was COVID. A lot of workers in the US retired, and we were impacted because of that as well, early retirement. This solution really helped us, right, in that case. So this has been in place since 2019, and we continue to improve on this. So this is a reactive use case. It's prescriptive. It's a reactive use case because the truck is already at a Penske location. The event already happened, right? So what we started talking about in early 2020, we started talking about combining our IoT data. So our trucks actually talk to us, right? They're sending a lot of data. So we talked about combining our IoT data with our operational data, with our operational repair data. And the goal was to reduce breakdowns. Actually, Praveen had that in one of his slides, which is kind of eliminating or reducing breakdowns. So that was our use case. Because again, in the first case, the breakdown did happen, came in for a repair, right? We wanted to kind of reduce the number of breakdowns so the truck is not stranded on the side of the road. So again, through our partnership with Hitachi, we built an AI-based proactive diagnostics model, which again combines the IoT data from the truck. This is real-time live streaming data with our operational data. And this model did go live earlier this year. It is in production, and we have, and in fact, this is a quote, I won't read it to you, but I'll tell you exactly what happened here. So the night that we deployed this, within a few hours, the model identified a truck which would fail in the next X number of miles. So the prediction actually is that the truck may fail in 100 miles, 200 miles, same day prediction, right? So it'll give out same day prediction. So we were able to, this happened early morning, I think it's like 4:36 a.m. And the model informed the Penske locations. They called the driver. The truck was pulled into the nearest Penske location. The repair was taken care, and the driver was on his way in 3 hours, right? Now think if we did not have this capability. So what would have happened is the driver would still keep going, right? The truck would break, stranded on the side of the road, make a call to Penske 24/7 call center. We would then try to diagnose the problem, send a technician to where the driver is, try to figure out the problem. Hopefully the technician has all the right parts. If not, we tow the truck. You get the point, right? I mean, it just takes a very long time, not 3 hours. So this has definitely reduced not only the number of breakdowns, but also the amount of time it takes to repair a problem. So let's double click on that, right? So like I mentioned, our trucks are talking to us through IoT. So this IoT data is live streamed into what we call as the Penske's data platform. It's a very simplistic image here, but there's a lot going on there because think about it, it's all streaming data. We got to make sense of it, and we got to do something with it. We got to get insights out of it. Now, this data is then consumed by the proactive model, and again, the proactive model is trained with operational data, like the guided repair model is. So it combines the IoT data and it combines the operational data. And then we apply business rules to it, right? So for AI decision making, you need two things. One is the prediction, and the other one is judgment. Because if you just go with the prediction, which is completely dependent on the data, and don't apply any context, it may not mean a whole lot. So I'll give you an example of that. So for example, the AI model may predict that a truck may fail in about 1,000 miles, right? Now, we know that truck is due for service in about 2 days, right? So it's already there, it's already planned, it's due for service. And on an average, that truck runs 300 miles a day. So 300 miles a day, 2 days is 600 miles. The prediction is it'll fail in 1,000 miles. So do we really need to pull the truck off the road? Or should we let the driver continue, and then when the truck comes in for service, we can take care of the problem? So that's the context, right? So those are the business rules, those are the smarts, that's our secret sauce that we kind of apply to this. And then out comes the days and miles to failure. And then based on like I said, the judgment, the context that we apply, and the miles to failure, all of that flows into the Penske's internal and external applications, gets communicated to internal stakeholders, gets communicated to customers through our digital tools. So all of that happens. Now, the brains of this runs on AWS, right? So the Penske's data platform, the AI model, the processing all happens on AWS. So again, look, I have the privilege and honor of speaking about this innovative work, but the actual work was a lot of collaboration between Penske, Hitachi, and AWS. Those are the real heroes of this. And like I said, this is not an easy problem to solve, and we continue to enhance this. Our goal is to continue building on this proactive model, because again, right, we have to keep the model up and running. It has to learn as new truck models come out. And like I said, trucks are getting very, very complicated. And then we are also working on some other use cases that we, in the next year or two, there are some other use cases which are going to, again, help our maintenance vision and some of the other roadmaps that we have within the organization. That was my last slide. So, hopefully this was meaningful for you. Hopefully you take away something from this. So with that, I'll invite Praveen back.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohit. That was an awesome use case. So just to kind of recap what you have heard so far from Rohit, Rajesh, and I, and also what is in it for you, why you should consider AWS, right? So there are 4 things that I want to kind of quickly recap and highlight. One is, as you know, AWS is born out of Amazon, and we've been doing this for well over 16 years. So many of you might know Amazon is also one of the largest industrial customer too. We make products and we have factories, and we use all our services that we recommend to our customers as well. So it's something that we leverage ourselves and benefit from. So it's not foreign to us. Second thing is we have well over 200 purpose-built services which are serverless, and as you saw here, 14 IoT and also 4 AI/ML services. And they also work seamlessly with other AI/ML services beyond industrial AI/ML, like SageMaker and others, right? And they all are serverless. They work exactly the same way in terms of scalability. And you only pay for what you use, and you can scale things on demand. So that itself is a huge benefit. And the third thing is we have customers in every industry, every regulated environment, including hospital, military, government. So certainly we take security very seriously of your data. So certainly we have industrial grade security and compliance standard that meets all the regions and all the regulatory bodies that are out there. And the fourth and important thing is, the scale and the speed at which we operate, right? AWS is present in close to 250 countries now, and we have more than 90 availability zone. What it means is once you prove out an idea, and now you want to scale it and ensure that it also has the speed and the bandwidth. So that's where AWS can really help you in terms of deploying things in seconds, if not minutes. Really kind of take that benefit. And also if there is any change adoption, change management, you don't have to go through, like the way it takes once you prove it out, once you make a change, wait for another 6 months. So that's not the case anymore. It's almost near instantaneous. So it's a huge benefit, as you saw from Penske's story and many of our other customer service as well. And in addition to this, we also have a huge partner network in every geo that we operate. So that's something that you can take advantage of. Certainly, I invite you to learn more about industrial solutions and IoT offerings by visiting the web page here. And another thing that I would highly recommend is there is an AWS Village. We have IoT kiosk. Certainly go check it out. And then there is an industrial tent at Caesar Forum. So many of our services that you saw, we actually have a demo that you can kind of touch and feel and kind of get a flavor for how it really works and ask questions and how it is applicable for your particular situation. So I certainly invite you to go check out the Caesar Forum. And I think today they close early. So they close at 4 o'clock. So the last couple of days they were open late. So certainly, there's still time. Go check it out. And, always feel free to reach out to me, Rohit and Rajesh, if you have any questions. We are here to help you and also listen to your stories. And, hopefully next year you can come in and present with us and tell your story like Penske did. Thank you all very much for attending the session today. I also want to thank our speakers, Rohit and Rajesh, for being so kind and coming and tell their stories with us. You have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. Hope you all had a good reInvent so far, and certainly, reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you.